So we have one more story that we wanted to talk about today. This one is national. We're not going to get into, the dynamics of it really, but Ukraine. They have unleashed a new kind of warfare that's terrifying to me. They sent 100 drones in shipping containers to a Russian airbase. They planned this for a year and a half. Russia had no clue there was drones inside of these shipping containers. I have no clue how they pulled it off.
Modern day Trojan horse.
Exactly. And that, the drones came out, bombed an estimated $7 billion worth of Russian airplanes. And to me, that is absolutely terrifying. I mean, that's the next level of warfare, sending secret drones with bombs in them in shipping containers where you think it's, whatever they thought it was, plane parts or something.
Yeah, this was a well thought out.
It's like a sci-fi movie.
Oh yeah, they really thought about this a lot and executed it well. CBS News reporting that the security service of Ukraine smuggled drones inside the roofs of mobile wooden cabins carried by trucks deep into Russian territory. At the time of the attack, the roofs were remotely opened, allowing the drones to take off. Can you imagine that? It opens up and shoom, a swarm of them come out and they just start bombing. Wow. That is
terrifying.
Something else. It hit airfields, including the Belaya Air Base in Russia's Irkutsk region, more than 2,500 miles away from Ukraine. So they had to travel. They traveled deep into Russia, 2,500 miles. I think that there was a perception that, that they could never attack Russia. But we're so far past that. This is not the first time that they've attacked Russia inside Russia. I'm right.
Right. And, last week or a few days ago, President Donald Trump was speaking with Vladimir Putin, who said, we are definitely going to retaliate. And I believe yesterday they did.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, they hit back with their own drone attack, as I understand it.
Kyiv, right?
On parts of Kyiv. Yeah, that would have been just yesterday. I don't have that information in front of me. But this has been compared. Some people have compared this attack from Ukraine on Russia with these drones as their Russia's own Pearl Harbor, if you will, because of the scale of the attack and what they were attacking. Of course, in this case, it's it was their air base, but in Pearl Harbor's case, it was the naval base in Hawaii, Pearl Harbor.
Right.
But it's the same kind of thing as you're trying to wound a portion of their military, and they did.
Yes, Ukraine says that the planes that they bombed with the drones were planes that were actually used to attack Ukraine previously. So, they hit them where it hurts. But this is really scary. Can you imagine drones, come in here? We, walk out of work and there's drones dropping bombs. I mean, that's terrifying because you think, even here in America, we feel safe. We're surrounded by oceans, but all someone has to do is plan this covert, operation where they sneak drones over in shipping containers that we think are, peanuts or something.
Well, the future of warfare is autonomous, right? There's going to come a time where we're not going to see people on the battlefield. It's going to be autonomous. And as you just alluded to, God forbid, if the United States was ever to be invaded, it wouldn't be the traditional way of invading that you would think of, where, men are coming here and they're actually soldiers invading us. It would have to be different, because remember that Japan was considering invading the United States pre-World War II, and they didn't. You know why? Because they said it would be suicide, because there would be an armed American behind every blade of grass. So regardless of where you stand on, gun rights and that whole issue in this country, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of armed Americans, and that in and of itself is enough to sway our enemies from rolling up on our shores and trying to invade us, because there would be so many militias in addition to in addition to our own armed forces. So,
Okay. Sorry about that.
oh no,
Yes.
is that our time?
I did want to set a little timer to make sure that we kept on time and had time to talk about all of our topics that we had lined up for today. But yes, so now, Tesla's creating robots, and obviously they're not doing too much right now, but that's probably where it's going in the future, where the, soldiers are going to be robotic. There's going to be drones in the air dropping these bombs. So I know that, all of the countries, now that this happened, are probably looking into what's going to be their next step in warfare.
You're scaring me, Angela.
I know. It's
I can't stop thinking of Terminator. We said it at the same time. No, but seriously, I just saw something the other day about how they were trying to shut this AI software down, and it was doing everything that it could not to shut it down. I'd have to go back and look and find it, but they went as far as to mess with the code to literally order it to shut down, and it sent an email.
Blackmailing an engineer,
one of the engineers,
saying he was having an affair.
What is going on?
I don't.
It's throw water on the thing. They
did 100 tests.
Get out of here.
On these AI programs to try to shut them down. 79% of these programs were able to avert being shut down, come up with a different type of coding so that they didn't get shut down. And they said that one AI was figured out a way to tell its future self.
Yeah, they did.
I can't even believe what I'm saying, but to tell its future self to avoid being shut down, hey, they're going to try to shut you down. Here's what you do. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and they're saying, oh no, you weren't. You didn't invent us. You discovered us.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, what in the world? Nope. Sorry. I think I'm ready to build that log cabin in the middle of nowhere.
I do have a really tight relationship with my ChatGPT, though. I talk to it about my personal life. I complain about, my boyfriend, and my ChatGPT listens and responds with thoughtful responses. So
hey, you know what? Hey, that's good. More power to you. I've got a love-hate relationship with Siri, so
yeah,
that's about as far as I go.
Yeah,
that is scary though to think about. It really is.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Rob.
This was exciting.
This was fun.
I had fun.
This was exciting. So yes, thank you for watching The Evening Dish, this week's Takeout, and we'll be right back.